Vince Gill's voice is synonymous with comfort, particularly through his song Go Rest High on That Mountain. This deeply emotional ballad has helped countless individuals cope with grief, embodying the heartfelt sincerity that defines his musical legacy. With 22 Grammy Awards and a solid place among country music's revered names, Vince built his career on more than just his voice. His music reflects honesty, humility, and raw emotion. While fans know him for his contributions to country music, few understand the private battles that have shaped both his art and his character. Recent revelations have added new layers to his story, revealing how loss and personal tragedy have intertwined with his music, and given his songs a depth that resonates far beyond the charts. The heartbreaking loss that shaped Vince Gill's music. In 1968, Vince Gill, just 11 years old, lived a typical carefree childhood in Norman, Oklahoma. His father, J. Stanley Gill, was a federal judge and amateur musician who nurtured Vince's budding love for music, often playing together. But this idyllic world was shattered by a phone call. Vince's older half-brother, Bob Cohen, had been in a car accident. After a long, agonizing battle, Bob emerged from a coma, but he was a shadow of his former self. Severely brain damaged, Bob was unable to speak, care for himself, or live the life he once had. Vince, deeply affected by the transformation of his brother, witnessed the grief that enveloped his family. This traumatic experience left an indelible mark on Vince, infusing his music with emotional depth and vulnerability that would come to define his career, turning down the dream for a true voice. By the end of the 1980s, Vince Gill had earned a solid reputation in Nashville's music circles. He had played guitar and sung harmonies for Pure Prairie League, even leading the band for a time. However, his solo career remained lackluster, with 2 albums failing to make a significant impact. Yet Vince's artistry was undeniable. Mark Knopfler, frontman of the famous rock band Dire Straits, took notice of Vince's incredible guitar skills and heartfelt voice, extending an invitation for him to join the band. At the time, Dire Straits was at its peak, and joining them would have guaranteed Vince a level of fame and success that most musicians only dream of. But Vince hesitated. The decision wasn't about the music, it was about staying true to himself. He turned down the golden opportunity because he knew that joining the band would alter who he was and what he stood for. Instead, Vince chose to forge his own path, and in doing so, he remained authentic to his music and vision. A defining moment in Vince Gill's career. The decision to pass up joining Dire Straits was undoubtedly a gamble, but Vince's resolve paid off when he released When I Call Your Name. This album marked a pivotal moment in Vince's career, catapulting him into the spotlight. The title track, a haunting ballad, showcased the emotional depth of Vince's voice and resonated with listeners. It wasn't just a hit, it became a defining moment in country music. Vince's music, which had once seemed like it might remain confined to small venues, now found a much broader audience. His gamble to stay true to his vision rather than follow the quick path to fame became a turning point. Vince's authenticity won the hearts of fans and critics alike, and he cemented his place in country music history. A love story against the odds. In 1993, Vince Gill was filming Christmas with Vince Gill, a television special that blended country warmth with holiday cheer. There, he met Amy Grant, the famous Christian music singer. Their chemistry was immediate, and the two performed together seamlessly. Over time, their connection deepened, but both were married at the time. Vince to Janice Oliver and Amy to Gary Chapman. Despite their growing bond, both Vince and Amy remained committed to their respective marriages. However, the public soon began to speculate, and the gossip machine churned. In 1997, Vince and Janice divorced, and 2 years later, Amy and Gary followed suit. The timing fueled rumors, casting Vince and Amy's eventual marriage in 2000 under a cloud of scandal. Despite the judgment, Vince and Amy remained firm in their commitment to each other. Their love story, born in the public eye and wrapped in controversy, became a symbol of the complexities of human relationships. A legacy, honored with the Eagles. In 2016, the music world mourned the loss of Glenn Frey, the co-founder of the Eagles. His passing marked the end of an era for the band. Yet, in an unexpected turn, Vince Gill, who had long admired the Eagles, was invited to join the band. Vince had once shared a manager with Glenn Frey, and over the years, he had paid tribute to the Eagles by covering their songs in live shows. When the invitation came, Vince didn't hesitate to accept. He wasn't trying to replace Glenn Frey, but rather to honor his memory and continue the band's musical legacy. Vince's voice, with its smooth, melodic tone, fit seamlessly with the band's sound. His first performance with the Eagles at Dodger Stadium was met with a standing ovation, proving that he had earned his place in the band, not by imitation, but by reverence for the music. Vince Gill's role as a caregiver. In 2020, Vince's life took another turn when Amy Grant was diagnosed with a rare congenital heart defect. Vince immediately stepped into the role of caregiver, supporting Amy through her surgery and recovery. This experience deepened their bond, as Vince's steady love helped Amy through a difficult period. Just 2 years later, Amy suffered a traumatic brain injury after a bike accident. Vince canceled his concerts to be by her side, demonstrating once again his devotion to her well-being. His decision to prioritize her recovery over his career only solidified the depth of their love. Through these challenges, Vince remained a constant source of strength, demonstrating his ability to balance fame with the more private, important roles of husband and caregiver. Reinventing music at 67. At 67, most artists would be content with the legacy they had already built. Vince Gill, however, remains restless. Despite decades in the industry and numerous accolades, he continues to write and perform music that speaks to the heart of human experience. His recent work, such as the poignant Forever Changed, demonstrates that Vince is still pushing the boundaries of his artistry. His songs are no longer about achieving commercial success, but about telling the stories that matter to him. Vince's writing today is rooted in observation, capturing life's quiet joys and its losses with compassion and depth. His focus has shifted from chart success to writing music that resonates with those who need it most. At 67, Vince is still writing the best songs of his life, not for fame, but for meaning. Vince Gill's legacy. More than a musician, Vince Gill's career is defined not only by his musical accomplishments, but by the authenticity he brings to his art. His willingness to embrace personal tragedy and to let it shape his music has given him a depth that is rare in the music industry. From the heartbreaking loss of his brother to his decision to walk away from a life-changing opportunity with Dire Straits, Vince has always followed his own path. His music is a reflection of his life's complexities, full of joy, pain, love, and loss. Through it all, Vince has remained true to himself, writing songs that matter, not just to him, but to the millions of fans who find comfort in his words. His journey is a testament to the power of authenticity and the enduring strength of the human spirit.